Right, Honorable Speaker. Madam Speaker, with your indulgence, I want to bring this information to your attention and this House. When the government proposed to us to accept its policy shift of RAPEX, we were assured that all the staff and employees were going to be paid their terminal benefits. Madam Speaker, I have come across many former employees who are now desperate, in anguish, and despondent because they have not been paid their terminal benefits. Their children are not going to school. A few of them have been stressed to the extent that they have undergone stroke. They are sick. And this government had convinced us, and we agreed to that proposal, thinking they were acting in good faith. And the Ministry of Finance is here. Madam Speaker, my prayer is that the Ministry of Finance and government clarifies on how many, whether public service, okay, government represented by the Honorable David Bahati, speaks to this nation on the fate of the employees of the former agencies that were rationalized, that are staying at home without money to go to hospitals, without money to pay their children's school fees, without even food, to the extent that they are falling ill, dropping day by day. Madam Speaker, I beg that this matter is addressed.
Government.
Madam Speaker, the Minister for Public Service presented a paper on Monday updating Cabinet on the progress we are making with RAPEX. How many institutions have been merged fully, the staff that have been compensated, those that have not been compensated, those that were taken over by the new institutions, and we discussed this matter, and I request that the Minister for Public Service comes next week, Madam Speaker, with your permission, to update the House on the progress we are making, the challenges, and the way forward, and the solution to those challenges. I beg to move.
Members have this copy of the legal opinion. However, the opinion, the members, the staff, former staff, are not in agreement with the opinion, and most of them have gone to court over this legal opinion, because for them they say they should not be given compensation. That's what the Attorney General says. But what we can do, we wait for a report from public service entity by entity. We want entity by entity, because you said you are ready. You are ready. You brought certificates of financial implications. We agreed and we said, okay, if you want it, have it. And now that you failed to pay these people, we don't want these people to continue suffering. And yet these people have worked for this country. These people have worked for this country. And what we need is fairness in the whole process. We need fairness in the whole process. Let's have a report on people who have been paid, those who are pending, and what kind of payment are we talking about. Yes, government.
Madam Speaker, we shall bring the report on Tuesday next week, detailing institution by institution. Clarification?
And the process of absorption, their members were supposed to be absorbed in the parent ministries. The process of absorption is as chaotic as that of RAIA. We need that process to be done in a smooth way. You cannot say, because I have been working in this institution, so you should go through public service again. How? I thought you are absorbing me because you've taken over the job that the institution. So I am going to be absorbed in that department in the ministry. Huh?
My clarification means as you are allowed.
N-
Madam Speaker.
No, I am still communicating.
Madam Speaker, from the report received from the Minister of Public Service, he appears to be on top of the situation. And he raised a number of challenges and also the solutions to those challenges, including those issues that we are talking about, Madam Speaker. So on Tuesday...
On top or under? To the best of our knowledge, is under the station. It's not on top of the station. Because we have so many people out there crying. People are supposed to be absolved. People are supposed to be paid, those ones whom they think are not. We need a report. Yes, there is information from Odur.
Thank you, Madam
I'll
Speaker.
give you to speak, don't worry.
Madam Speaker, the Honorable Bahati was in charge of Ministry of Finance. There is a serious ripple effect arising of people suddenly losing their jobs and losing their spending power. One of the reasons why the inflation is going up, it's because people are now home, they cannot spend, they have lost their jobs. And soon the economy, the minister here, this economy is going to suffer because of that. But the major point is, if you come to Parliament, a serious institution, and then explain to us that allow us take this policy shift because we have the money, and then when Parliament has done its part, you go and renegade on that agreement. You go and refuse to pay those people. You make Parliament look unserious. Because we ask this question, some of the agencies, you were even in a hurry. The minister here even suspended some rules and said we are ready to implement as soon as tomorrow. And the money is available. So who has eaten the money meant to pay the terminal benefits of those people? Who? And you are known for being very corrupt. This government, the IGG's report says that, have you eaten the money, the terminal benefits? Have you eaten the money? They should explain that, Madam.
And first of all, it is not about eating the money. It is about absorption of these people. Once you fail to absorb, that's when you pay them the terminal benefits. So let's have a report to that effect on Tuesday. Members, Honorable Asimwe has been representing me in the CPA, and I told him I have a lot of work here. The position that was supposed to be mine of a treasurer for the whole of Africa, I had to give it to yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First and foremost, the other day when I was making the report for that particular conference where I was elected as treasurer, I passed on my gratitude to you and the office of the Speaker for giving us the opportunity to always represent our country and, of course, Parliament on your behalf. Most of the responsibilities we take on for these international committees are entirely delegated responsibilities of the Speaker. So without her support, without her empowerment, certainly we cannot represent you effectively. So I want to thank her. But in particular, Madam Speaker, though I had not communicated earlier, we usually make reports and present them on the floor, but at times we never get a chance to debate them. And the honorable ministers who are policy makers, because the purpose why we represent Parliament in these committees, international committees, is to compare notes, have a pick one or two policies that might have an impact on our societies, or that we might share with our policy makers. But at times when we bring these reports, the policy makers at times do not take them up. I'll give an example of there's a declaration where even Uganda is a signatory on health financing, something to do with, it was actually made in 2001, where all African countries had passed a resolution that we should, at least 15% of our budget should be going to the health sector. But we failed to meet this, even 10% mark of our budget going to health. And some of the challenges we are having in the health sector is because we did not follow these recommendations. By the
Okay.
time that 54 countries sit and make a resolution, certainly they have shared experiences, and I think these experiences can be, if they are passed, they might help us possibly
Thank you.
achieve certain issues. So my request to you, through you, Madam Speaker, is to push the front bench that when we bring these reports, or possibly we put a desk, that whenever we bring these reports, they pass them on to the relevant ministries, and they make action taken reports, so that we understand that we are not wasting resources
True.
meeting every now and then without any impact on our communities. Thank
I
you so
think
much,
that's
Madam
what
Speaker.
we are going to do, and make sure that the reports reach the relevant ministries for
Madam,
us to be able to take action.
As a region, has serious environmental issues, and those issues relate to the use of wetlands. In the 1940s and 1950s, the colonial government drained a majority of the wetlands and gave them to the people as their lands to grow crops and rear animals for milk purposes because of malnutrition then. Recently, the government has started forcefully evicting people from the lands they have owned since the 40s and 50s without complying with Article 26 of the Constitution, specifically without giving them prior and adequate compensation. We are finding it hard as leaders to advise them otherwise, because the only message we tell them is that the government can only evict them after it has compensated them. But some are already losing their crops and grazing lands because of the fear of forceful eviction. Can we hear from government what it intends to do to the people of Kigezi, particularly in respect of the lands they use and have owned since 1940s to date, if it still wants to restore wetlands? Can we have an assurance that we will first compensate them before eviction?